What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS3 Raw TV. So, tonight we're going to talk about something that, okay, let's, I always do this. I say what we're going to talk about, and then I go backtrack and whatever. So, I've been doing these social experiments, okay? Now, you guys are actually taking part in one right now, and you don't even know it. That's what makes an experiment, is that it's taking place and it's gathering data to see the outcome of certain behavioral patterns of individuals. Now, human beings are very interesting to me in general. And the older I get, the more I learn about it. It started with the human body, right? Bodybuilding teaches you stuff about the body, physiology, anatomy, biochemistry, all that stuff is amazing. Then I'm like, the mental part of it, right? Me being a drug addict, I had to learn a lot about the way that the brain works in a lot of different ways just to understand my own disease and get over it and combat it, right? So I've kind of stepped back and said, you know, behavioral, you know, because I've had people in my family and friends and stuff that have behavioral issues when they were younger. What causes it? And it just was fascinating to me over the years. And it's become more fascinating to me as time goes on. So the experiment that I tried yesterday, right? Today is Tuesday, so Monday. I knew exactly what the outcome would be. And I talked about it on my Instagram. If you guys have Instagram, you've checked out my Instagram, you saw it yesterday. So Alan Aragon, I'm probably saying his name wrong. I mean no disrespect, and I actually respect and like Alan quite a bit, and we're going to go into this video why. So in the past, you know, maybe month or two, Alan and I've had some stuff go back and forth online, and he's a very science-based, and I'm not going to say that I'm bro, I'm not. I really like the science, I just don't understand most of it. So therefore, I'm left to try to find the way to get results without actually knowing the science and stumbling upon the results by applying science that I don't really know. I don't really know it, but I understand the results by doing certain things to get certain results, right? Some of the science I do know, but the problem is I understand the science, but I don't have the proper words to explain it. I guess that's where it falls short. And what happens is, being me who I am, I'm dyslexic, I have ADD. When I say something, the scientific community jumps on me like fucking crazy. They make fun of me, they call me names, they dog me, they just try to destroy me, discredit me, everything as hard as they can, because they just don't like a bro, they consider me a bro, challenging them. So I saw Alan's page, and it was about coffee and coffee being safe, etc. I've spoken on here before about caffeine not being safe. Not coffee, caffeine. So I said, you know what, I'm going to put a post on Alan's page asking Alan, okay, a question about whether he thinks caffeine in large doses, not coffee, right? Caffeine in large doses would be safe long-term compared to, get this one, right? This is what made everybody lose their fucking minds. And I knew it was a button. When I push it, people are going to lose their shit. Compared to cocaine. Now, the first instinct, I think, for most people would be like, what the fuck, Jerry? Like, there's no comparison. Like, you can't compare those. And I'm like, do you have any experience with cocaine? Do you know anything about it and stuff? Like, it's bad. Pablo Escobar, fucking Scarface. Nobody really knows. So I'm not proud of it, but I have a lot of experience with cocaine, dosages, different types of how different purities and stuff, how it's made, I mean, I've kind of been through that stuff with my past life, and I myself have done a bunch of fucking cocaine. Not just snorting it, but injecting it also in the past. Okay, so I'm speaking from experience, whereas most people just speak from, well, they talk out of their ass. Pretty much they know one side, they'll defend that one side like it's the ultimate truth, and they just talk out of their ass. I'm talking about the scientific community now. Alan didn't even answer it. Alan was away on vacation, okay? On the post, I had people start jumping up. One doctor was like incorrect. And he went on to talk about all these pathways. My question was, I forget how I phrased it. I'm going to put it up here on the screen. But basically was, stimulant-wise, does the heart know the difference? Stimulant-wise, after everything is digested and the stimulation happens, does it know the difference between cocaine and caffeine? That was the question. This guy talks about pathways. I didn't fucking ask about pathways. Another guy was like, he literally jumped down there and started making fun of me. Called me a clown, made fun of me for selling multivitamin. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys, like, you guys are the scientific community. So instead of rebutting it and saying, no, they're not the same because of this, they tried to dance around, beat around the bush, talk themselves up, make fun of me, put me down. Matter of fact, even one of Alan's followers said to the guy that called me a clown and was making fun of me, he goes, dude, that's pretty rude. And the guy's like, fuck you, he was like making fun of that person, going, you call yourself a nutritionist? They're a licensed nutritionist. What the fuck? So I'm watching them implode amongst themselves and make fun of me. And I said, okay, we're just going to let it go, right? So meanwhile, Alan sees this. Alan then contacts me and says, hey man, I'm on vacation. So I'm sorry that I didn't answer it right away. And I'm like, holy shit, like you really didn't have to do that. So I got this more than just a little bit of respect. I have the utmost respect for Alan. And I feel like we're building a good relationship to try purposely to bring bros and science individuals together. Okay? It's like the Avengers. Spider-Man's cool, Iron Man's cool, together the Avengers badass. Bros are cool, science is cool. If we can bridge that gap and bring them together, we're going to know a lot more together than we would apart. Plain and simple. And I think we could progress further with all of the training, nutrition, diet, drugs, all of it, if we work together. Okay? And that was the whole goal, was to get to work together with Alan. That's what I've been moving towards over the last several months, right? But here's why I asked that. Again, now, most people look at cocaine as the devil, right? Or it's an evil thing, it's bad, it's illegal, whatever. But caffeine, right? So I looked into what would be considered a safe dose of caffeine, right? They said no more than 400 milligrams a day. I said, okay, cool. So 400 milligrams. So if you took a synthetic 400 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous in one shot, you're going to get quite a jolt, right? Well, if you took 400 milligrams of cocaine, it's not the same jolt. Interesting, right? And did you know that they actually use in laboratory studies when they start a deceased heart, when they're doing the actual research themselves or studies, I think it's, I'm not sure what class it is, but they actually start the heart with 3 different things. The first thing they start it with is caffeine. The second thing they start it with is adrenaline. And the third thing, I believe, what was the third thing? I believe it was the electrical, the AED machine, the pads. So they actually use caffeine to start a heart. It is that powerful. And what really made me start looking into it was the caffeine powders on the market. You can buy caffeine by the pound, the kilo, whatever. If you take a 5-gram dose, a teaspoon of caffeine, 5 grams, which is 5,000 milligrams, you will die. If you take a 5-gram dose of olive oil or sugar, we use 5-gram doses of shit all the time. Something as little as a 5-gram dose of fucking caffeine will kill you. You need to do milligrams. Now, in contrast, I have done over 5-gram fucking shots of fucking cocaine. I mean the whole fucking thing. You put a fucking rail of cocaine around a table and sniff that whole fucking thing. Now, some people may go, well, Jerry, like, it's this stuff was about as pure as you can get. I actually know quite a bit about cocaine. Not to, like, it's not something I'm proud of, again, but we had different types of cocaine from the guy that used to sell it to us. And the one that was pure came in like a solid brick. When you broke it, had scales in it. It's not white. It has like a yellowish tint to it. That shit was so fucking pure. And we would bang 5 grams easy of that. I've done an 8-ball injecting it in an hour and fucking been fine. I've gone on benders. My friends have gone on benders. If you went on a bender of caffeine and you took maybe 10 grams of caffeine for the weekend and you fucking snorted a line of caffeine the same size as the cocaine, you'll fucking die. It'll actually stop your heart. Milligram for milligram, caffeine is stronger than cocaine. As a matter of fact, caffeine, the withdrawal from caffeine lasts longer and is harder to get through than the withdrawals on cocaine. Cocaine, they have something called fiending, where you want more. There are physical withdrawal symptoms where you cannot move. There are people that go off caffeine, they can't go to work. They get fucking headaches, they get migraines, they fucking throw up. They're in bed for a couple of days. It lasts for 2 to 3 weeks with the caffeine. Cocaine, about a week. Most people I know, 2 or 3 days after they run out of these benders, they feel a little off. They feel like maybe they're tired. They sleep it off because they've been up a lot. But the withdrawal is not as bad. So now you have an illegal drug, cocaine, right? An illegal drug, because people forget that caffeine is a drug. 2 drugs, one legal, one illegal. The illegal one, it would take a lot more of that one, cocaine, to overdose and die. However, the caffeine literally is killing people right now on 5-gram doses. There was literally a video about this lady who her fucking son bought a goddamn thing of fucking cocaine. No, her young son, who was like 9 or 10 years old, he got her credit card, bought caffeine on eBay, like a pound of caffeine, took a teaspoon, threw it in his fucking juice, stirred it up, slugged it down, went to school, had a heart attack on the desk and fucking died. Literally passed out and died on his fucking desk because the caffeine was so strong. Now, I'm not saying the kid would have survived cocaine. What I'm telling you is caffeine is not a fucking joke. Most of our country is addicted, highly addicted to caffeine. They can't get off of it. They use it literally all day, every fucking day. Coffee, energy drinks, pre-workouts. It's all over the fucking place. Could you imagine, right? Well, let's put it to you like this. Caffeine in a 5-gram dose will kill you. 200 milligram dose, which gives you a pep, that's not enough to kill you. So what we do is we take a dangerous fucking drug. We take such minute amount of it that it won't kill us to get an effect and consider it safe. That's fucking bullshit. Cocaine, as a matter of fact, if I told you cocaine, right? If you took a little bump of it every day, take a little bump and go about your business, you'd get the stimulant effect, you get a euphoric effect from it, which the caffeine doesn't do, but you would get less of a effect on your heart than the caffeine. The caffeine, once it's digested, like this doctor was talking about pathways, the caffeine goes through whatever pathways and is digested, and then when it stimulates your heart doesn't know where the fuck it came from, whether it's a cocaine pathway, it doesn't fucking know. Like, I can't believe, like, people, it's like saying a carbohydrate, a sugar, whatever, like, they're all different, but once they're digested, it makes glucose, which raises your blood sugar. So your body doesn't know where the fuck it came from. It's the same fucking thing with the cocaine and the caffeine. It doesn't know where it came from. The stimulation still goes to your heart the exact same fucking way. The problem is, most people would never give up their coffee. They'd never give up their energy drinks. I don't think people understand how dangerous caffeine is. There is no reason whatsoever to look at a drug like caffeine and say, oh, it's 100% safe. Like, literally, the problem that we have is we had all these studies going on with caffeine. They said, oh, 400 milligrams a day is safe for, long-term fucking studies, right? Well, I'm sorry, but this is 2019. Like, back then we had coffee and they were studying it, right? And then maybe they had some caffeine pills that people would take no dose, but people respected those pills because they're fucking strong. They're strong. You take fucking 5 of those pills, 2, 4, 6, 8, 1,000 milligrams of caffeine, you're gonna wind up in the fucking hospital. In one shot, you'll wind up in the fucking hospital. You do 1 gram of cocaine, you ain't going to the fucking hospital. If you're high as fuck, you come down from that high and fiend, but you're not gonna go to the fucking hospital with heart problems. I see it all the fucking time in the clubs and shit I used to go to. People used to do bags of fucking coke that were like this. That's I couldn't even put my fingers around it. They do that whole fucking thing in a couple hours. You do that with caffeine, you're dead. Like, you're talking about probably more than 5 grams. You're probably looking at maybe close to 10 grams at a time that fucking a person would do at a fucking club in a night. You do 10 grams of caffeine, you're dead. So I'm sitting back going, first of all, the question I asked was, do you think that the heart fucking knows the difference? And I already knew the answer. But these people lost their fucking shit. This is the problem. Rather than stopping and going, wait a second here. What is Jerry saying here? I forget the pathways. Once it's digested, the fucking heart. Interesting. Wait a minute. Now, my wife, who works in CVOR, cardiovascular operating unit, that does bypasses, cabbages, heart valves, heart transplants. You name it. If it has to do with the cardiothoracic, including lung transplants, she does it with a surgeon. She's the one that's standing there holding your heart out of your body while the surgeon fucking stitches it in. Okay? Now, they have all the backgrounds. They have all the medical fucking backgrounds and everybody that walks through there. And they have seen stimulation to the heart. When you do cocaine, your heart is supposed to pump like this. When you do cocaine, after you've done it for a while, it does this. It's not as strong. Guess what happens with caffeine? It does the same fucking thing. It slows your heart rate down like it can't contract properly the same fucking way. I know people that could take, massive amounts of caffeine if they built up to it, right? If they would start out like a little sip of coffee here or whatever, next thing you know, they're taking 200 milligrams in the morning, a cup of coffee here. Like, we live in a society where energy drinks are drank all day long. They have to put fucking warnings on energy drinks like, don't drink 5 of these in an hour because you're fucking dying. Could you imagine 5 energy drinks in an hour or whatever the fuck it was? The people are dying. They have to put a disclaimer on the fucking box for the energy drinks so people don't kill themselves. You think that's safe? All that's showing is now we're not just addicted to caffeine. We're highly addicted to caffeine. We have more sources of it. These pre-workouts have 300, 400, 500 milligrams of caffeine with Yohimbe on top of it, as well as other stims all on top of it. Now, that's just your pre-workout. You take that before your workout. Now, you go, I got up in the morning, I was fucking a little sluggish, so I fucking popped an energy drink and took that with my fucking breakfast. All right, you got 200 milligrams in that fucker right there. Good to go, right? Then throughout the day, I started to crash from that because you don't fucking know. You're just thinking, I'm getting tired. No, you're crashing from the caffeine, dummy. You took a drug. The drug wore off and now you're fucking worse off. Slug down another energy drink because you're at work. There's another 200 milligrams. That's 400 milligrams right there. Then your pre-workout comes. It's 400 milligrams in that, 500 milligrams in that. You're looking at 900 to 1,000 milligrams already, not including the other stims, the pre-workouts and shit. There are people that still get done with their workout and say, fuck, I gotta go to my second job. What do? Drink a pot of coffee at the second job. And this goes on and on and on. Now, here's the thing. And what I already knew that they didn't fucking know and they didn't even think of. There hasn't been a single fucking study on 1,000 milligrams of caffeine for 25 years, ever. Because we didn't have that type of fucking caffeine being loaded at us. Now with all the energy drinks, pre-workouts, coffee, everything on top of it, now we have espresso, cappuccino. There's so many things. I see people get all these espressos. They got a strong-ass cup of coffee with 5 espressos in it. They do that every day. That's more than what these studies were back in the day. They need new studies to tell whether or not this shit's safe because now people are sucking this down in larger amounts for longer periods of time. They're starting very early in their teenage years, drinking these fucking energy drinks and these pre-workouts. And the whole thing went fucking right around. But what the awesome part was, Alan contacted me today. He sent me a screenshot that he put up on his Instagram. And basically, I'm going to paraphrase it. Basically, he says, this is interesting food for thought. Jerry might be onto something here. Because he looked at what I was saying. He didn't look at me for being a bro. He didn't say Jerry based on my reputation. He looked at the information I put up there and what I wrote and actually thought about it and really thought about it. And today, which was the next day, wrote that I may be right. This is something that we need to look at. That's all I was saying. So that proved my point. The people, unlike Alan, that are science people, they don't want anything except what they know to be right. Even if it's outdated information or stuff that fucking doesn't work or isn't real. Even if new information has come out to combat that, they don't care because what they know is real. They don't care about you and they don't care about reality or the truth. Alan cares about you. Alan cares about me. Alan cares about the truth. So I stepped back and I was like, you know what? I was like, thank you, Alan. He didn't have to respond back to me. I wasn't expecting that. And I explained to him what I was doing with the whole, I knew what these people are going to freak the fuck out. And I'm just like, this is the problem. How are we supposed to get along? And 99% of this shit happens, whether you want to believe it or not, not because the bros start shit, because the science-based people start shit by talking down to the bros and acting like they're better than them. They have a fucking superiority complex that just won't quit. And it was very evident right there. I didn't say fucking shit that would offend anyone. I flat out asked a question. I even gave studies. So, a PubMed study, either give a real study or don't come around here. They were so derogatory. They were so negative. They were so ready to jump down my fucking throat because of who I was that they didn't give a fuck about the information. They didn't care what I was saying. They didn't look into it. They were like, fuck you, dude. You're a clown. You sell multivitamins. What the fuck? Like, none of it made any sense. Like, they automatically attacked. And I had to just hold myself back. I had to bite my tongue and shut the fuck up because I was doing it purposely and I knew it was going to happen. Like, I wanted to jump in there and fire back. And I did kind of take this one little guy, this fucking idiot. I took him for a ride. I put that motherfucker on blast because he's a fucking asshole. He deserved it. After he fucking went after that girl, fuck that guy. But the rest of the people, I was like, and some of them actually like, you know what? I don't know. Like, that's kind of interesting. But think about this. If you can't take a 5-gram dose of caffeine without fucking dying, but you can take a 5-gram dose of cocaine, which one is more safe? Well, Jerry, have you ever seen, the one guy said, have you ever seen how they make cocaine? What? I didn't, it blows my mind how people are like, have you seen it? Coffee's made, so let me get this straight. If I can brew coca leaves and make a tea that has cocaine in the tea, that is milligram for milligram, just as potent as the caffeine, and we drink them both, one is going to have a stimulant effect different than the other one. And guess what? It's going to be the fucking caffeine. That one has a stronger effect, has the worst withdrawals. It is much harsher drug, but it's legal. Could you fucking believe? Like, I'm surprised that, I shouldn't be surprised because here's the thing. Coffee absolutely is so addictive to where if you start getting addicted to it now, you're more than likely going to be stuck on it for the rest of your life. Most people out there have some type of caffeine addiction. And it's hardcore. That's why you fuckers are paying $6 for fucking coffee at Starbucks. What the fuck? You can brew a whole pot for like 99 cents. You can buy it at Shell gas station. But no, I have to have a special thing. Why do you think you have to have that special thing? It's not the fucking flavor in it. It's not the fucking stuff that they put in there that makes it taste like chocolate. It's the fucking caffeine because you got up in the morning, you had a fucking headache. And what happens is if you don't like regular coffee, now you like that chocolate flavored shit and the caramel flavored. You like that sweet stuff to get, it's a transport. It's a carrier to put the caffeine in your body. Why not get decaffeinated? If you're filling it with all sorts of sweet shit to begin with, guess what? You're not going to taste the decaffeinated coffee. But you still get the caffeine. Why? Because you're addicted to fucking caffeine. But you don't want to admit it. Like, nobody wants to admit what the fuck is really going on. And one thing that Alan actually said back to me was he appreciates the way that I tackle subjects that nobody else wants to tackle. Or they just ignore it, or they just fucking go as sheep and just fucking follow everything else. And they never question things ever. To me, it's a fucking huge neon sign, red flag flashing when I saw that those 5-gram doses or the pounds of caffeine could be bought by kids on eBay. I was fucking shocked because I'm like, of course, if I took 200 milligrams of caffeine, I got a good fucking energy going. Like, it kicks me in the ass. If I take 200 milligrams of caffeine with 25 milligrams of ephedrine, I'm fucking good for like 4 hours. I'll lift a fucking house for like 4 hours. But when it wears off, you're fucking done. Like, you just fucking crash. The only way to come out of that crash off those fucking drugs is to put it back in your body again. What does that sound like? Fucking cocaine. When you run out of cocaine, the first thing your brain wants is more fucking cocaine. You crash. You feel like shit. You have no energy. That's the same thing with fucking caffeine. You have to put it back in your body. You can't be addicted to caffeine and just stop. You have to keep putting it back in your body, but it's legal. But it's advertised all over the place. But it makes you cool if you have a Starbucks in your hand, right? I grew up with Dunkin' Donuts. It's fucking popular up in New England. So we didn't even have Starbucks till like last week or whatever. But no, I'm just kidding. But bottom line is like you're being brainwashed to consume more and more of something that keeps you addicted. Smoking. What the fuck? Finally now in 2019, the truth.com and shit are coming out in fucking pushing hard against the tobacco companies to fight back, and smoking is going down. That's one of the most addictive, nicotine's one of the most addictive fucking things on the entire planet. But the smoking, that's what you get stuck on. It's the carrier. People try the mints. People try the patches. My mom tried the patch. But it's the ritual of actually picking it up, lighting it up, sucking it. The whole ritual, the oral fixation, all of that stuff, they know gets trapped in your head, becomes ritual, and then the nicotine on top of it. So it's like a no fucking lose situation for them that they can grab you by the fucking neck and have you for the rest of your life, paying the $6 a pack for these fucking things. And you're doing it every day of your life. Every day these motherfuckers are walking to Starbucks paying $6 a fucking thing for coffee. Are you fucking kidding me? There are people that can't pay their fucking bills, cannot pay their bills, and they buy a Starbucks every day. What does that sound like? It sounds like that motherfucker who buys an 8-ball every weekend that's gonna get kicked out of his apartment. He's having fucking money. Why? Because he needs to have the fucking cocaine. It's the same fucking thing. It's the same behavior. It's the same fucking stimulation to your brain. It's the same stimulation. Well, you get a little euphoria from the cocaine too, but it's the same exact same stimulation to your heart. Not only is it not safe for your heart, but it's caffeine's easier to overdose on. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't believe how stupid people are, how big a sheep they are, and how much they will defend something to the fucking end that they don't even know about, that they haven't even thought about for a second. There is no way how fast those people fucking replied on my fucking post for them to even think about what I said, let alone have time to think, realize what the fuck is going on, look through a couple different things, maybe look up some stuff online to see if there's some research. They didn't do shit. They responded within 20 seconds. So I'm like, you haven't even thought about it and you're already arguing back. So either you're a caffeine addict or you hate bros. One or the other. But neither one of those things change the fact that caffeine is fucking dangerous, extremely addictive. We are absolutely fucking hooked and controlled by it in this fucking entire world. It's not even just the country. It's the whole fucking world, but our country sucks with this shit anyways. But bottom line is, guys, here, I'm not telling anybody not to drink coffee, right? Coffee has antioxidants in it. It's been proven to have health benefits. It wasn't about the coffee. It was caffeine. And because I put caffeine on there on a coffee post, nobody, like these smart fucking PhD people, they still automatically made the link to coffee. I didn't say coffee. Matter of fact, if you look up the research, it says caffeine is bad, but coffee's okay. But they don't even know that. I'm like, I'm so far ahead of what the fuck they're thinking about. I'm like, but you guys call me the dumb one. You guys actually responded like you didn't know shit, like you were a bunch of fucking dummies, and that disappoints me. So I am going to further my relationship with Alan, hopefully bridge the gap between bros and science people so we can get some shit together and actually get to the bottoms of things, and maybe find some new ways to do things more efficiently. BioScheng@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. BioScheng.com is the blog. It's the coming soon Bros and Science Bicep, and we are out.